Everyone, Jacquie Edwards here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Now, today I want to talk about a topic I've actually been getting loads and loads and loads and loads of questions on. We've covered it before. I know a lot of other trainers on HMOs and on Rent to Rent have covered talking about sending HMO letters, but I've been getting a lot of questions on kind of what that actually means and what to do. So let's break it down. Now, you are going to, when you are sending HMO letters, this is an advertising method. So if you are interested in HMOs, whether to buy them or to lease them and do rent to rent, then getting the list of licensed HMOs from the council is an absolute must. Like, this is like the number one marketing that I suggest everybody's doing that wants to get rent to rents or HMOs. So you are going to get that list of licensed HMOs. Now, it can take a while. Every council is different in how they process their data, how they store their data, how they release their data. So you need to start working with them right now. If you haven't already got the list, start on it now because it can take you weeks and weeks and weeks to get it. I know people that have had to go in person live to the council and get the list or write things down from a big book. So every council is different. Make sure you are checking with yours what you need to do. You might be able to just go on their website and the list might be there. You might be able to just call or email and they'll send you a copy via email. They might send you a PDF. They might send you Excel. They might send you Word. Anything could happen, basically. Now, ideally, you will be getting the list that will have the address of the HMO and the address of the property owner. Now, that doesn't always work out quite that nicely. Oftentimes, you'll just get the address of the HMO. Now, in that case, you really want to try to get to the property owner's address so that when you send the letter, it's getting to the property owner's house, not just to the HMO. So first step is to try to find the property owner's address. Now, you could try to match that up with the planning portal. So if you go on to the planning portal, most councils, again, will have their own link to a planning portal. If you go in there and punch in the HMO's address, you might be able to pull up the owner's name. So if they've applied for planning permission recently, you'll be able to find who the owner is, and you'll be able to find, hopefully, the owner's home address. Alternatively, you can go onto the land registry. You'll have to pay £3 each time, but you can download the title deeds. And again, you should be able to get the property owner's address, not just the address of the HMO from there. So when I did it for Oxford, I was able to use the planning portal. And in Oxford, they also had licenses listed in the planning portal. So again, I could just pick each property, go into the licensing, and it would show me the property owner's name. So I was able to match things up that way. Now, if you can't get the property owner's address, it's not the end of the world. You can still send letters to the HMO. You just have to know that a lot of those letters aren't going to get to the landlord. But in the grand scheme of things, most landlords are going to throw your letters away. So when you send this letter, and I've got templates on my website. So if you go to renttorentacademy.co.uk, I've got sample letters on my website that you can grab and download. And you can use those to kind of send to your property owners based on the list. So most of them are going to throw your letter away. Now, it's not going to be pertinent to them at that time. So if they've got tenants in their property and everything's running along happily, they're just going to be like, I'm not interested in doing anything else with my property, and they're going to throw your letter in the bin. Which is why you need to keep sending these letters regularly. So I'd say that person needs to get your letter every 6 to 8 weeks, because in 6 weeks' time, their tenants could have all given notice. They're trying to find new tenants. They're frantic. They can't find anybody. And then they get your next letter. And they're like, I remember these people. Let me give them a call this time and see what's happening. And maybe they can help me out. So it's all about timing. And you need to make sure you're not just sending one letter and saying, it didn't work, I'm moving on. You need to send them regularly and consistently so that you can get that landlord when he needs you. Just like flyers that come through your door, Domino's Pizza, they keep putting those flyers through your door. Most of the time, you're not ordering Domino's Pizza. One night, you're like, darn, I really want me some Domino's. That's just like what you need to do with your letters. So you need to send them and send them and send them and send them. Now, I like to make them stand out. So everybody gets white envelopes. Oh my gosh, I've got mountains of posts that I haven't opened. I don't really open my posts. It's just a nightmare and nothing's ever important. But if I get something in a pretty envelope, it looks like a card, it looks like something fun, I open those. So I highly recommend you buy colored envelopes to send your HMO letters in. I got mine from Amazon. nice colored envelope, something bright, something fun, almost looks like a birthday card, an invitation to a fun party, that landlord's going to be more likely to open it. The same thing if that letter is going to the HMO's address and not to the property owner's address. Then you really need to make sure that letter stands out. I'd be using red, and I'd be saying, for attention of the owner, urgent, something that makes it look like it's an outstanding bill, that if this doesn't get to the owner and it doesn't get paid, the house is going to get repossessed. It's all going to go wrong. So, and if you just address it, Mr. Smith at 123 Main Street, and it's going to the HMO address, the tenant's going to get that. They might not know who Mr. Smith is. They might not know their property owner's name. They might have done this through an agent. They might just not really remember or care who their property owner is. So they just throw that letter in the bin. But when it looks important, when it specifically says for attention to the owner, or urgent for the owner, or owners only, whatever you can do to make it look super, super important and urgent, and identify who this needs to get to, the better the chances are that the tenants are going to pass that letter on to the property owner. So you need to do what you can to make it work, and then send as many letters as you can, so that you're putting more chances out. So that it's like a funnel. The more things that you have at the top of your funnel, that just kind of filter down, filter down, filter down, and then deals trickle out the bottom. So you need to make sure that you're putting loads and loads and loads and loads of opportunities into the top of that funnel, so that they can turn into one or two little deals at the bottom end. So hopefully that makes sense. So you get the list of licensed HMOs from the council. You write a letter, a marketing letter, saying all the amazing things that you can do for that property owner. And then you send it to that property owner's address in a brightly colored envelope, or to the HMO marked urgent and private and confidential for the landlord. And you send those every 4 to 6 or every 6 to 8 weeks to the same people. So hopefully that makes sense. Make sure this is in your budget so that you know how much this is spending. Again, this isn't free, but this is a business expense. If you are running a property business and if you are serious about your properties, then you have to look at marketing expenses and what are you doing for your marketing. And this is one of the, by far, the best ways I've seen for people to get HMOs, whether they're renting them or buying them. Getting the list of licensed HMOs gets you directly to those HMO owners. That is your target market. So thank you very much. That is all I want to say for today. Make sure you check out my website. Watch my emails. We've got a summer special happening right now. So make sure you check your emails from me, sign up for the newsletter, and catch the summer sale. All right. I will see you next time. Uh-oh. Yep. And